Michael Cohen, once Donald Trump's personal lawyer, now says he lied to Congress by underplaying the Trump Organization's efforts to do business in Moscow. And he says he did it to keep his statements consistent with what Trump was saying during the campaign. New questions this morning about Donald Trump's dealings with Russia during the 2016 campaign raised by Michael Cohen's court appearance. President Trump now calls his former personal lawyer a proven liar who was at it again, this time to please Robert Mueller in hopes of getting a reduced sentence after pleading guilty in August to separate federal charges.
He's a weak person, and what he's trying to do is get a reduced sentence. So he's lying about a project that everybody knew about.
A big change from the praise Mr. Trump once lavished on Cohen, who was very close to his client.
Michael Cohen is a very talented lawyer. He's a good lawyer in my firm.
In court Thursday, Cohen said he lied when he told Congress last year that the Trump Organization's efforts to build a Trump Tower in Moscow ended in January 2016, before the presidential campaign heated up. He admitted in court they actually kept going until mid-June, and that he talked about it with Mr. Trump and Trump family members. Then candidate Trump said this in July 2016.
I have nothing to do with Russia.
Cohen told Congress he was not in touch with any Russian officials about it, but now admits he did have contact with two officials of Vladimir Putin's government. Cohen's former partner told NBC News he suggested offering Putin the $50 million tower penthouse, a suggestion that went nowhere. Cohen also told Congress there were no plans to go to Russia, but now says he suggested that Mr. Trump go there after getting the Republican nomination for president. In court, Cohen said he made these misstatements to be consistent with Mr. Trump's political messaging and out of loyalty to Donald Trump, who has repeatedly downplayed any business with Russia.
I have no deals that could happen in Russia because we've stayed away.
I have nothing to do with Russia, folks.
I have no dealings with Russia. I have no deals in Russia. I have no investments in Russia. None whatsoever.
Now the president says there was nothing illegal about pursuing the project while he was a candidate.
I decided ultimately not to do it. There would have been nothing wrong if I did do it.
It means that when the president was representing during the campaign that he had no business interests in Russia, that wasn't true.
But the president's defenders say all it proves is that Cohen lied.
All I've seen thus far are process crimes. I've yet to see anybody indicted for actually colluding with the Russians, so we'll see.
Court documents say that Cohen met with the special counsel's prosecutors 7 separate times starting in early August. That's hours and hours with the Mueller team, raising the question, what else did they talk about? So far, Savannah, no answer to that.